For over half a century, a trip down South Hillside was the highlight of a Wichita summer. Long before you reached the parking lot, you could hear the distant mechanical clatter of the wooden roller coaster and the faint, unmistakable melody of the Wurlitzer organ. Joyland wasn't just an amusement park, it was Wichita's heartbeat. Joyland was founded in 1949 by the Ottaway family just outside of downtown Wichita at Central and New York. They later hired a bookkeeper, a student at WSU, and later promoted him to manager. That would be Stanley Nelson. Joyland was moved to South Hillside in 1954. Again, an idea of Stanley Nelson. In 1955, Stanley and his family purchased Joyland. The Glory Days were defined by sights and sounds you can't find anywhere else today. The white wooden roller coaster, a Philadelphia Toboggan Company classic, was known for its 80-foot drop and those fixed lap bars that made you feel like you were flying. Then there was Louie the Clown, the animatronic organist, and the Wacky Shack, Bill Tracy's final masterpiece of dark ride weirdness. It started with a massive swimming pool at the entrance of Joyland, which later became a pool for bumper boat ride. After an accidental drowning, the pool was later filled to build the Sky Coaster, which was a rope swing ride. Joyland also had a train that traveled the perimeter of the 57 acres. Joyland was home to fun for the next 4 decades. My own journey with Joyland began with a reward. I remember being 8 years old, a grade schooler who worked hard for good grades. Back then, Joyland encouraged education by giving kids like me free admission for a day if our report cards were up to snuff. The coaster was my favorite back then, the ultimate prize for a year of hard work. As I grew into my teens, I traded the coaster for the high-speed thrills of the Roundup and the Tilt-A-Whirl, which became my favorite for years to come, even after I became a young mom. But not everything was joy, I'll be honest. Louie the Clown was always super creepy, and the Wacky Shack, it usually scared the fun out of me. I was lucky enough to share Joyland with my children for a little while, but the traditions started to fade. The schools stopped their partnerships for free days, and as the years went on, the park became too expensive for many lower-income families to afford. The gates eventually closed in 2006, leaving the park to the mercy of Kansas weather and the hands of vandals. My most memorable time with Joyland was also the most emotional. Years after the park had closed and most of the coaster had fallen, I was in my 40s and navigating a pain no parent should know. Several years after my daughter Bekah passed away, I wanted to find a way to depict life of a mother who has lost a child. Life had become a roller coaster of emotions every single day. I went back to the dilapidated park. The easternmost track of the coaster was still standing then, weathered, broken, but still there. A friend took the photos with me and that old wooden giant of my childhood in the background. Joyland brought me so much joy as a child, but in my grief, its ruins spoke for me. It stood as a symbol of the highs and lows we all endure. I drove over there yesterday for this video. It's all pretty much gone. The silence is deafening. It's really hard to describe. Weather, vandals, and neglect have stripped it all away. You know, the owners cleared out a lot of that. There's no more sign at the street that says Joyland. No more skating rink. All I could find as far as where the rides went is the Carousel that is at Botanical Gardens now. It is in use. It is being used. It's all I could find. In the area that I went, all I could find was about a 20-foot track for the train that went over the little canal, the little creek. It's a little creek bed. It typically stays dry, but it brought back a lot of memories. The glory is gone, and the ruins have mostly been cleared. But as long as we keep sharing these photos and these stories, the joy of Joyland isn't completely lost. It lives on in the A's on the report cards, the screams on the Tilt-A-Whirl, and the strength we find in the wreckage of our past. Thank you for sharing this walk down memory lane with me. If you are from this area, I would love to hear your stories and memories of Joyland in its glory days.